welcome back to another episode of the First Impressions podcast. I'm your host, AJ, and joined with me today is Donovan, Camille, and Adrian. Today, we will be going over what we learned as individuals in this class, how we will use that to work within groups in the future, and how our experience was within the class and with working within one group for an entire semester. So, Camille, what is one of the big things that you took away from this class as an individual?
So when I first started this class, I signed up for it and I went in thinking but I only work good alone. I don't know how it's gonna be working with a whole group. I mean, even in my personal life, I flourish on one-on-one interaction. So I went into this having that kind of fixed mindset, oh, this class won't really help me. I don't think this class will be beneficial for me. But being head first with all of these issues that comes from having to be in a group setting and just having teamwork in general, I feel like this class pushed me to recognize that and then try to change it.
And I agree, your typical, stereotypical communications class, it's just by yourself, and it's typically, you're up there, you're speaking to everybody for 2 to 5 minutes, but with this class, it's 35 minutes, and hearing that time for the first time, it's you start to panic.
Yeah.
And I feel just that anxiety starts to crush down on you, and that's what really freaked me out. But just throughout the class, I learned that doing this together is just way easier it's way easier said than done. Or it is easier, but I don't know. I had a good time doing this. So
it's easier done than said.
It's easier done than said. Yeah, it's reversed.
Another thing too is you brought up with other communications classes, this kind of class. It's the saying, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
It kind of is the same thing with this, because in other communications class, like you said, you're up there for 2 to 5 minutes and you got to hit every single point, versus this, if you do that, you're going to be a 10-minute podcast. Yeah. And it's kind of, we're not really going for that. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more prep that seems to go into this than I ever thought. We're sitting here, here an hour before, we're going back and forth, bringing up ideas. We're talking in the group chat throughout the week. We're bringing up ideas, and we're kind of, it's a big collaboration thing. And one thing that really helped me was working with that for the entire semester was just trying to view, or I guess analyze conversations more. I take a step back and because I'll send something in the group chat, and to me it makes sense. The entire idea is there. All right, this is what we're doing, blah blah blah. This is three whatever segments we're trying to hit.
3 segments. This one's that one.
This is that, and then we have Camille, who's she'll be in there. She'll ask 3 questions on all right, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I'm I felt it made sense to me, but I guess I'm not Camille, so to me, it doesn't, it won't work for me saying things how I will say it, won't work for Camille. And I guess I realized that more as an individual this semester, was that, I can't just go out there and say it and expect everyone to understand how I mean it.
Yeah, we all have a diversity in learning things, taking in info. So I get what you mean. I'm more of a guy who just go out and do it. But I know Camille likes her info step by step, which is good, because I feel if someone else needs it and they don't realize they need it, step by step, someone else will know they need it. So we'll get it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Step by step.
And I feel also when you watch a podcast, I watched this one podcast, it's a group of friends, obviously they all had to get to the point where they're comfortable enough to know each other and how to communicate with each other. All of us, we kind of just met each other, so it was a big jump. Like you said, you guys are all kind of more go with the flow. This is what we're doing. Me, I need order, this, what about X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for me personally, I was already comfortable in front of cameras because I did acting for the camera, and that was you do 2 minutes, you gotta stand on your mark, say who you are, and then act as someone that you're not. You have to be a character. This was the challenge was not only doing it for 45 minutes, but being you, being yourself, adding your own personality into things in a way that academia will accept. That was very difficult. That was the hurdle for me.
Yeah, I feel this class, it pushes you to show like who you are as a person. But I think the aspect of just having like 5 cameras in your face and like the lighting just on us, it kind of gives you like the idea of like, oh, like yeah, I can be myself, but there's like a lot of anxiety like built around that, you know?
Yeah, I agree too, because or I guess another aspect of that is that we kind of lucked out because we're all like different enough to where we will all take certain things away differently,
Yeah.
but like we're all similar enough to like our previous podcast, we've done movies, we've done music, we're all
Yeah.
pretty big fans of that.
Yeah.
So that was something that we could all like common ground and we could all pour a lot of energy into because that's something that we all like, but we all think about them different ways. So we get like the very cool different, like, you know, I really liked an album Adrian brought, you guys didn't really care for it. And then, you know, it was like we get cool back and forth, we get cool banter, and it's like we didn't really show a bunch of banter this one because we had the like panel style that we kind of fell into that worked for our specific groups.
Theme
How do
of,
you
like,
want theme? Yeah.
bringing something in, talking about it.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That brings something in, talk about it, because it's like you get to show a part of yourself to everybody else, and then you also get to like give your thoughts on everybody else's. That's kind of just what the podcast is. I didn't really add anything to it, but we get what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off
Mhm.
what you said. Like I do agree that we lucked out. Like I feel like we all have the same interests in just our liked stuff. Like we like music, we like movies, but I think we all have different
tastes.
like tastes and genres.
Mhm.
I think we lucked
That's what
out
I
on
was
that
getting
because
at,
like we're all watching stuff that we're not used to, but like we're critiquing it. We're giving us our own info about it, and I like that about this. Like what we did. I think it's unique in a way.
Yeah, I feel like a good like big takeaway from that was just that we're able to watch different things, but it's all under one specific category, and we can appreciate everyone else's commentary. I feel like that's something that will go far beyond like just this class, like even like in our personal life or like careers, like being able to listen to someone take their critique or just appreciate what they're saying. Like I feel like that's like a beautiful human interaction to have.
Building off that too, like the us critique, like I feel like we didn't really get into any like big arguments or anything
Oh, no.
throughout, like
Nah,
like
it's just a
we're
movie.
There was
yeah we,
no-
yeah like
Yeah,
like
it was-
yeah like we the biggest one was I didn't like your movie,
Yeah.
like, but like it was all right, you know.
Yeah.
But like that was another cool thing that I tried to take away this semester was like I said with earlier, taking a step back on conversations was that really helped me kind of navigate like, oh, this could have been like misconstrued as me attacking Camille when that wasn't like specifically what I was going for. And it like I feel like thinking about it, I can work my way, or I can work, rather than going around an argument, work through one before it becomes a full-blown argument.
That's why I'm kind of grateful for like you said, like we kind of lucked out because not saying that I was expecting conflict, but I was expecting at least maybe one thing to happen. But
Yeah.
I think you guys are all pretty like laid back, so it just helped out.
We're all just kind of honest. We all have, again, like different tastes. I didn't like it, but like I'm glad that we're all able to like just take in that like the criticism and like not care about it.
Like, I didn't make the music.
Yeah, the truth.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
don't
just-
make
I
it.
just
Like
brought it in.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we're into it, but like if you guys aren't into it, I know you guys are into different stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everybody, there's a plethora of genres.
Mhm.
You know, we all enjoy different stuff.
And that's another thing, like going back to our first podcast, we did perception. We perceived that completely different from how it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about perception through that,
I
like
did too, yeah.
especially like even though we didn't do a big like focus on communication like we were supposed to, like I learned a lot about, you know, how conversations are perceived through that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the whole idea of it itself was that we perceived it a different way than how we were supposed to do it.
I mean, I like the Russian thing where like
Yeah.
they perceived colors like way different than we
Yeah,
did. I
'cause
mean,
they have,
I
what
found that
even was it?
interesting.
They had different shades of blue. They had dark blue and light blue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
they could tell you about different blue more than they could green.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of
Yeah.
cool.
I
Well,
don't
since
know.
we all can like agree on kind of like the fact that we can appreciate other people's perspectives, like what's something that you guys learned like individually maybe that you want to just like point out?
I think for me, it's again taking a step back for like conversations where they could be like going into arguments. Like I was using that a lot at work. Like instead of like trying to be confrontational or be like, okay, I see why you would think this, and I'm not going to try and blow this out of proportion by saying I'm right. I'm be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. This is how I meant it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've used that a lot at work. I've used it in some of my other classes, even with my friends, kind of like taking a step back, being like, okay, I see where this whole misunderstanding happened. Let's go back to that. We can work through that to then go forward and work our way through it rather than like bouncing around to a bunch of different points.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, I feel like a skill that I developed is like just, we already kind of mentioned it. It's just the anxiety of just like being in front of all the cameras. It's way different than just like presenting for 2 to 3 to 7 minutes in front of a whole class. It just feels like I'm on something like super professional, and like I need to do it professionally. I need to do it organized. Like it has to be this way. Just like the anxiety, just like crushing on you. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's at some points. I don't know if you can look back on some videos. At some points, you can see me like breathing up and down because I feel like, whoo, I need to breathe. Like I can't breathe. But I feel like throughout the videos and throughout just our podcast, I just start to get more calmer, and just like everything is way more natural. It's just because I'm like learning to adapt to just like, okay, you need to calm down. Like this is not as bad as you think.
It's just talking.
It's literally just talking.
It's just
Quietly.
talking.
So yeah.
It is a pretty cool class though. Like I never thought I would be in a class that's like in a podcast room. So that was like a really big adjustment, but it's such a cool like additive to Solano, you know?
Yeah.
But I think sorry, I got off track, but like one thing I really had to work on was like speaking too fast. You guys can probably tell, like I don't even think I have to like announce that. Like I do speak I'm probably speaking fast right now, but like I speak really fast, and like that's just something that I have going on in like my personal life with my family, with like friends. So I think, like I said, like you guys had to like, or I had to take a step back and just try to like enunciate my words more. Maybe not doing it the best right now, but like think about my thoughts before I say it, so I speak slower, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like a big thing with that too is like you realize it, or like you're acknowledging it, so you can work like to try and better it. Like some people they don't
They don't even notice.
yeah, they don't even notice
They
it,
don't
so
care.
they don't see it as a problem.
Yeah.
Versus like, I'm not saying like it is a problem, but
No, it is, but
you're
yeah.
you're able to acknowledge it. So I feel like the first step is being able to acknowledge it.
yeah, like having that
'Cause-
self-awareness.
yeah,
First step
The-
of
yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Admit that you have
Admit that you have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a big thing too, because you know, I'm not saying without this class you wouldn't have learned that, but like
Yeah.
it might have taken you a little bit longer to figure out like, oh, maybe that is something I could work on.
Yeah, that's also a good point, because like in my personal life, when I have conversations with people, it's just something funny. It's just like, oh, you talk really fast, I don't understand what you're saying, and I'm like, oh, whatever. But here it's like, you guys kind of need to understand what I'm saying to like build off like on commentary. So it just really allowed me to just like face it head on in a way where like it did matter. You know, it wasn't something just lighthearted between like me and my friends. Yeah.
For me personally, this one's a little weird, but it was speaking sources out loud, like knowing how to properly cite sources, because you don't want to be in the middle of speaking really fluently and then be like, and then according to this source right here,
Yeah.
in the article, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be robotic. You want to insert it naturally.
Yeah.
I never got good at that in the podcast, but I feel like in writing essays, especially, it helped me with like reading it in my head out loud, kind of, to see if the source I was inserting into my writing was fluid or not. And that helped me a lot in my other essays and other classes.
That makes sense. Like you're learning the just like habit of making it smoother.
Yeah.
In a way, because you're conscious about making it smoother here.
Yeah.
I get that. I feel like I'm kind of the same way too. I'm starting to be more conscious about my like way more conscious about my sources in assignments. So I would say like that skill kind of like expanded on into outside the class, which is I think is a pretty good thing.
That too, you never really think about citing sources whenever you're talking,
Yeah.
unless you're like giving a speech and you're
That was really weird.
yeah, like if you're giving a speech, you're like most of the time like you're supposed to have a good bit of it memorized, but you like for a lot of classes you can have a note card or something,
Yeah.
and so you can have a full speech, or not a full speech, a full quote on it and read it like verbatim, versus this, you're not really going to do that. Like,
No.
it's a lot more paraphrase. Like, according to her, she said something along the lines of, and then go on a quote.
Yeah.
Like that, it makes it a lot easier to keep it natural when doing that, versus, you know, like Adrian's saying, according to blah 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 blah, you know.
Yeah.
Staring down at your phone. Just
Mhm.
like,
I think another thing that I struggled with too is probably like active listening. Like it kind of goes hand in hand with the anxiety being in front of these cameras, but it's more so you guys are talking and then I'm like, okay, I have to talk soon, and then it's like, okay, I'm so worried about knowing about like when's my cue to talk, that I'm not listening to what you're saying, and then it throws me off when I start talking because I'm like, wait, what am I even responding back to?
yeah.
So that's something that I really had to like take a step back and just like, I think what helped me was like looking at you guys and then like nodding my head, because I'm like, yeah, like that's forcing me to like listen to what you're saying,
Yeah.
you know?
I'd have to agree with that. I think that was one of my struggles too. Just like constantly having to know when you have to jump in after being like so anxious. Like you're thinking about like, oh, like I need to jump in, or I need to do this fast, or like, oh wait, now I'm doing this. Now I gotta listen to them. Like I
Yeah.
completely forget I'm supposed to be listening to you guys sometimes. But like, yeah, we'll say I feel like a lot of us do that. You do it, and do you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
feel like
Yeah.
it's just a thing where it just happens, but then you're able to like just pick up and just like pick it off where you left off when someone's mid talking. It's just like I think that's just like a normal like human thing. It's just, you know, again, being anxious, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Kind of the opposite with that. That was my issue. Is like I feel like I can listen, but I won't show I'm listening. You know, like I could be looking at Adrian while you're talking, and like I'm comprehending what you're saying, but like, you know, you're
not there on your face.
yeah, it's not there on my face, so you couldn't even tell like, oh, I'm about to jump in. You know,
Yeah.
versus like, you know, like how it just went. You know, you were saying your bit, and then I'm looking at you and I'm communicating. Oh, okay, this is. You know, I can directly tell you without telling you that I'm going to like try and jump in here.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else individually that we feel that we like really hit our marks on this semester?
Probably like the reflection assignments. It helps
Mhm.
watching other people's podcasts, because then you can, it's like now you're the viewer and you can pick up on, okay, what makes a podcast good to watch, what makes it entertaining, informational, and what sorts of things make it like kind of dull, kind of, you know, dampen the experience.
Mhm.
That was also helpful.
I definitely agree. Just kind of like reviewing all the podcasts. It just helped knowing kind of like how other people are doing or what their topics are, just because like I don't want to feel like, oh, like our podcast just sucks. Like knowing that everyone else is kind of like in the same boat, it just kind of helped a lot. And just reviewing and seeing other people's perspectives and you know, knowing what they're doing and how they're doing it helped a lot on how I do, at least now. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. Like a lot of people, when they talk about our podcast, they say we're all very stoic and we use a lot of filler words. I'm not gonna say that I really did fix that. I don't.
I did not.
But,
I know I did.
Yeah, see, I just used another filler word, but
It's hard.
It's
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
especially, but like you're acknowledging it,
yeah.
which is like again earlier.
first step,
It's the
yeah.
first step of like trying to fix a problem. Like it's
Yeah.
not gonna change instantly, but you see that there is something there that you can work on. So
Mm-hmm.
you can put the effort in. It's not gonna come immediately, and it's not gonna be natural. But
Mhm.
as you go on, it gets better. And
Yeah.
that was another thing with the like peer reviews, is that we're, like you guys were saying, we're all in the same boat. And so, I see someone else's podcast and they're going through, and I'm like, oh, I did the same thing and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I need to be mindful of that next time. And that was, I felt like that was a good experience going through the different podcasts, being able to say, oh, this is something that I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It was vocal variety, I think, for the most part. That's like why I put every single podcast I watch, like, it can improve the vocal variety
Mhm.
a bit. I don't even know what it means.
I think it's just like the different like
Yeah,
tones that you
yeah.
use like to show like more excitement, but
Yeah.
it's hard to do like vocal variety or less filler words because it's supposed to be conversational. So
Yeah.
that was also a big adjustment, but it's also supposed to be professional in a way
Yeah.
to reduce those. So that was something that I
Yeah.
really did have to work on.
Yeah.
You can't
Or at least
start screaming
recognize.
and howling.
I guess
Like
that,
an animal.
yeah, I guess that does go into the next segment, like how we felt we learned more about working within groups.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's a lot more conversational, so it's a lot harder to. You're not really thinking about it when you're doing it,
Yeah.
versus after you go through and you're like, okay, this is a tone problem that I have.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sound the exact same way throughout the entire thing, versus like, oh, I could have added a little pause right here, I could have sped this one up right there, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit louder, softer, just depending on the different moods.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that we learned individually does help us learn better together, like you were trying to say. Like, the phrase, you have to love yourself before you can love another person.
Yeah.
I feel like that ties in like beautifully with how we're using that like internal change to learn better with like all of us. I feel like one of the skills I mentioned, like speaking too fast and like anxiety, that can only be changed like internally. And and although that this class does help us confront those issues, if we don't fix it for ourselves, then it's hard to be able to like learn and take critique from other people as well.
Yeah, and like kind of like what we were saying, like listening isn't passive. Like we were talking about how like it's when you're out the other way, we're trying to think about like what to do. It requires actually processing of what other people are saying, and I feel like I learned that better because like when you're communicating and just like or doing a communication presentation in front of a class, you're kind of just like reading off a script, or you're doing what you're supposed to be talking about. You're not used to just presenting and listening about other topics or taking in that information like while presenting. Like you're not used to like all this fresh information coming in and then relaying it back for an actual communications presentation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like with this, it's like we actually learn how to listen and just not be passive about it. Like we're just listening and actively, almost enjoying our conversation pretty much instead of just reading something from your mind or reading something off the note card.
I feel like going off of that too is like, comparing this again to a regular communications class. If someone is giving a speech, you're listening, but like you're thinking about your own presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not really thinking about, oh, this is really cool. This is a good point. That's a good point. You're like,
you don't have to review it.
yeah. Versus this one, like we're sitting here and we're actively trying to listen to form a back and forth.
Yeah.
Versus like a regular thing or regular communications class where you're just up there, you're given a presentation, and then you're off, you're done, so you can pretend you're listening, and then there's no
You
consequences
can go on
to
your
it.
phone underneath your desk. and just-
Yeah, you're not used to conversation within, again, a presentation. Like that's why it's almost hard to somewhat make it natural, but it comes off natural. Like we're right now, like I feel natural.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this. Like it's you're so used to it just being like just straight this like off paper, and that's why I like that we kind of like just learn the skill to just like take in and make it feel natural with the conversation.
Yeah. That's what I like too about it. It was like, you have your outline, which is like what you plan on saying, but most of the information that your group members bring and most of the things that they're actually going to say, that's kind of revealed to you as you go along. Like you don't meet with your group members. Well, we met beforehand and said like, I plan on saying this, I plan on saying that, but you don't know how it's going to be said or what, when it's going to be said, how you're going to respond to it, or like, you just don't know most of that before you go in. So it's a lot more improvisational versus, like you said, a presentation where you're like reading off your script and you're not talking to your group members. You're presenting something. This isn't a presentation, it's just talking.
Absolutely. I feel like for me, like my outlines have gotten to like less and less detailed as the semester goes on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because like you said, you're the first one, you're kind of thinking like, okay, I have to have like all of these things, all these
try to script it, like it's
try
like-
and script it, all these contingencies, like, oh, if he says this, I can go off on a tangent on this, versus like now it's like I have
This outline in front of me is not even a page long.
compromise and fixed mindsets. That's
First one was like 5 pages.
yeah. Versus this one is like a page and a quarter, if that.
Yeah,
And
mine is not big at all.
It helps it feel a lot more natural
It does.
too.
Yeah. because you're not sitting there like, okay, this is what I think about that. This is what I think about that. You're not like looking to shoehorn in your little like pre-written statements into a flowing conversation, because that'll ruin the flow.
Absolutely.
You just have to think of it as it comes to you and use your outline to like just store little ideas, but don't really let them go all the way, because then it won't sound natural.
Mm-hmm.
This also like trying to fill silence too. I feel like is a less of a necessary as we've continued on, because like the first couple, I feel like it was every time there was a bit of silence, someone would like look, like stare at each other,
Yeah.
like scared, and then like jump in and like just try and fill it instantly.
Everybody
Versus
tries talking at the same time.
Yeah. Versus like I feel like this one is like we can kind of pick up on okay, you know, the idea's kind of dying down, so someone else can like jump in. Versus like we're not.
Do I
like,
add to it? Do I change what we're talking about? Like,
yeah, it's a lot. We're a lot less dead in the water. I feel like.
yeah. It's about moderating. I was moderator that one time. I don't know how you do it, by the way, because it sucks. It was like knowing when to talk, or like knowing when to use your kind of moderator powers to sort of metaphorically zap your other group members into either changing topics or just
usher them into it.
Yeah, usher them into it. When to stay silent or when to like jump in. You know, when you can tell they're losing steam. That was a big part of working in a group.
Yeah, I would hate being moderator. I could not. That's why I've never like.
The announcement's the
volunteered
hardest
myself.
part.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would hate that. I can not all that weight on me.
Again, the like going off that though, it's like, you know, it that's kind of the big I'm giving a presentation part of it. You know, is I have a script, I can like more or less read off it, I can have it somewhat memorized, and then after I send it to someone, we're just off.
Yeah.
And that's cool how this class specifically kind of it takes a bit of elements of that too. How it's you know, we're in a group but we're still kind of individual in a sense. Like we have the same topics and stuff, but like outlines, they're our own. We have the same segments and stuff, and then it's how we choose to fill it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we're just kind of backpacking off that. We're other podcasts they feel way more natural. With this, it's like it's a bit more organized, but also with that natural feeling to this podcast, which I also enjoyed that we were able to do. Like we're able to mix naturality with organization, which I liked. Like I feel like we kind of executed that very well. Like you said, it's like that script, especially when we first had our first podcast. It was just straight script. Mine was straight script. And evolving from that throughout every podcast, it would get shorter and shorter and shorter. And I like that we can just like naturally just push our ideas with building off it without having to read it. I like that we
relying
built that.
less on your outline.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Also, looking at like professional podcasts, you know, like it's a lot. I guess there's like two sides of the same coin. You know, you have one group where it's like, as an idea comes, they think of like they kind of like ours. You know, they have like a set idea of what they want to do, and then they just they run through their little script at the beginning, and then they're just off. Versus like some, it's like we're ranking the top 75 NBA players of this season, and so like they go through like each one and they talk about it, then the next one, and then the next one. Like it.
Boring.
I mean, not necessarily. Like some of them can be, but same thing with other podcasts where it's like they're kind of just free, you know, freeballing it. You know, they're you know, they can just sit there and no idea comes to mind for like 5 minutes. So they're kind of just like, oh yeah, did you see ha? Well, yeah, you know.
And then suddenly there's like that lightning strike. Someone says something, and then they just start going in on it, crazy, building it out. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
I don't know. One thing with the group though is I feel like I've gotten a lot better at thinking more about criticism and being able to take it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because like, especially in a system kind of like this, we're not here to like I don't know, it's not different every week. We're kind of, you know,
Yeah.
we get comfortable with each other, and so we get to learn each other's personalities better.
Yeah.
So I could bring up a topic and then Adrian be like, that's stupid. But I know that he's not
I wouldn't say
attacking me
Yeah.
as someone, like, as my idea
I'm
personally.
not
Like,
coming here to tear anybody down. It's like the podcast assignment says I have to say something negative about it. I
Yeah.
have to. It's a segment 3. Say
Yeah.
something negative about the movie.
Yeah. Nah, I feel like I'm a pretty defensive person.
Yeah, I know.
You tag my stuff, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, whoa. But I don't know. When it comes to like this and like everybody here, it's like you guys will like come at the stuff. I'll be like, okay, that's fine. Like I feel like I've genuinely learned how to like actually take criticism in a good
Mhm.
way. Like I don't know. There's like how I brought my album Blonde. I feel like that was my least rated topic I brought. Like when you said I have no clue why people say like this
Yeah,
is his
yeah.
masterpiece.
Some guy at my source said it was like it's the greatest piece of art
Yeah.
that's ever been made. It
Yeah.
beats out the Sistine Chapel and all those
No, I-
statues. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? It's Frank Ocean.
Yeah, I'd agree with it too. Like it's not like a straight up masterpiece.
Mhm.
It's something I really love,
just
but
good
it's not like a
music,
straight up
yeah.
masterpiece. But I learned how to take your guys' criticism without like just like a grain of salt. Like
Yeah.
it's like people always have their different views on it. Like
Mhm.
it's one of my favorite albums, but it's not anyone else's. Like
Yeah.
I get it,
Yeah.
and I like that about that.
Yeah, I feel like critique is only taken as a negative thing if like that's how you perceive it. You know, it's all about
Mhm.
perception.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that,
Like our first
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, that was a big thing about like what I was gonna say was like I also in a group setting I've like feel like I've gotten better at taking other people's perspective into consideration. I feel like I've said that probably
Yeah.
X
We
amount of
got
times
better.
already.
We learned more about perception from doing the rest of the podcast than we did the one.
The one
first.
that we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like that was the first one and it was us trying to get comfortable with each other. So
Yeah.
we're not
Fake-
trying to
little
step
rough.
on each
Not
other's
being
toes.
comfortable at
Yeah.
all. Just being like, I think I was sitting like this the whole time, like going crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree. It's with how our first podcast went. I wouldn't say it went terribly, but just like I did feel like a stone. Like it was definitely less natural compared to like where we are now.
Mhm.
It's just way more natural.
Like it was a solid 4 out of 10. And
Yeah.
I'm like I can live with
Okay.
that. Like, you know?
Good, yeah.
It was our first time.
Like,
you know?
yeah.
So
And-
I agree.
Now we're professionals at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we could have a real podcast, make millions.
Make millions, yeah.
Many millions.
I think the experience I learned here would get me on Joe Rogan. What do you guys think? Should I go on there?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
I really do like the fact that I feel like a lot of our individual changes that we make for ourselves, it really does make us work better in like groups, like you were saying, like with just like receiving critique. If you're able to like recognize and want to change those things, then that's kind of like the first step to being able to work with their group. Because if you can't recognize it for yourself, then how could you take other people's like input in something positive rather than negative? So that's what I feel like I learned a lot from what I learned from myself and how I applied it to working with all you guys. Yeah.
I agree with that because for one of my other classes, it's I took a step back and I'm like, okay, how can I better myself with certain things to improve the people around me?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I've been trying to put a better foot forward the last like month, being like, all right, I can do this better about myself to try and help the people around me,
Yeah.
like work with their strengths and work with my strengths, so I can up where I need to be up, and that would help them like take a little bit of load off themselves, so they can like we can both elevate each other
Yeah.
to an extent, you know.
Yeah. At the same time, it's also like a group effort. Like you're also working to improve yourself. If everyone in like a team effort, like in a general perspective, is able to do the same, then it makes everything so much easier. Like if
Yeah.
you're improving yourself, I'm improving myself, then it makes things flow nicer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I
First thing
would
gets
say.
better.
Yeah, I feel like we're all just like actively trying to better ourselves, and it's just it
Yeah.
just ends up all clashing or not clashing, but like
Like,
meshing well.
meshing,
Meshing
yeah.
well. I was trying to say like clash, but
Yeah.
no, mesh. They mesh well. So when we're all just like again, we're actively just doing better because we're actively wanting to do
Yeah.
better
Mhm.
individually. So
Yeah, I did want to just put like a very big emphasis on the fact that it's all about like how you work on yourself that helps us work with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about working within this one specific group? I feel like we've already been like touching on that, but like specifically, do we have like any experience like this versus like just a regular like one-off group, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Like
feel
the
like
same group over
yeah.
and over again.
I feel like for me, it definitely like we brought it up, but like it definitely feels easier to
Yeah.
work.
A lot
Yeah.
easier, yeah.
Because like we said earlier, we learn about each other. We learn how to take each other's words, how they mean it, versus like if I meet this group for the first time
Yeah.
and you say something and I'm like, oh, I don't know how he meant
I
that.
don't know anything
Yeah.
about these people.
Yeah.
You're not used to what they're gonna say. You
Mhm.
don't know what they're thinking or how they're gonna bring it up. But like, if I was in a different group than like you guys,
Yeah.
like throughout the thing, oh man, that would suck. Like it's not gonna feel natural. You're not gonna be used to it, and it's just gonna feel grueling. Like at least now when I come to these podcasts, I'm not gonna say it. Like I it's not as bad as like going into something where it's like you're meeting new people. It's like okay, that's straight up grueling. Like
Yeah.
I'm wipe that off my day. I don't want to show up to that kind of thing. But
if I had to have a new group for every single podcast, I think they would all be like the perception one. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'd be
I-
straight stone.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much the exact same thing. Like I feel like if it was a new group every single week, ooh, sorry,
So you can't do that with a new
yeah,
group.
can't do that with a new group. They're gonna attack me.
It's
But like,
unacceptable.
it's a lot easier. Like because for the movie one, he went on like a little rant like.
I hate waves.
Oh,
I
no,
hate
no,
waves.
no.
I hate this. I hate
And
this.
the whole
This
time,
sucked.
this guy over here, he's got the timer open on his laptop and he's just pointing at it. He's like, "Come on, come on."
Yeah.
Just going
But
hard.
like,
yeah, if I was in like a new group and I had to do a movie assignment, I don't think I would have
Yeah.
done that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like
You-
I know these people a little bit. I know she's not gonna go ballistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just showing
Criticize
like
people.
you doing that is just showing signs that you're way more comfortable
Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
it here than like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about consistency. Like if you want to
Mhm.
learn a new skill, you have to keep doing something like over and over. That's why being in the same group for a whole semester, you get to learn about all these new people and then be able to like either change yourself or like critique things to get to the same like common goal. But if I'm meeting like 3 new people, it's like, okay, what about like how can I navigate those changes? Then it's like, okay, that block is over, new group. It's just gonna be like a bunch of like straight to
Yeah.
the point.
Not
And
only
it's-
you learning how or having to do like this new topic, but you're also having to newly adapt to these new people. Like
Yeah.
it's just more things to do on your plate compared to just like like you're doing it with the same people. You get naturally comfortable with them, and then now you guys are all working on it, and we know how we operate. It's just like a way easier operation to do
Mhm.
than it is having to like be with new people.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
what I meant to say.
Also feels like it for like if it was a new group every week, it's either like we get here like we meet like 3 times to like run it through to like get to know each other, or it's like the first podcast where it's just scripted. Like
Yeah.
there's no fun back and forth. It's just this is perspective.
Yeah, just
This is
talking.
yeah. Whereas-
Literally just speaking.
Mhm.
It's not a conversation at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally all just be. I mean, that's what I would do. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like all of
Yeah.
us would. We just if it's a new group, like, dude, I'm just a rock. Like I'm speaking
Yeah.
off this. I'm getting my points off, and I'm like again, like how I explain like the anxiety is just crushing it. It's like it's filling up like your brain, like you're trying to listen but also think of what to say. Oh, it'd be like 10 times worse.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you gotta figure out what to say, what pleases them, but what also like just looks good on camera.
Yeah.
So in general, it's just the whole thing. It would be way harder.
Yeah.
Especially like trying not to step on each other's toes throughout the entire thing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know. Like for us, I feel like we kind of have a relative sense of like, okay, Donovan's kind of like, he's done with his. I can see Camille's kind of itching to get something in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Versus like another group, they're just gonna like sit there like. And then I was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down in my things.
Mhm.
Like I could tell when these guys are running out of things to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
everybody has their tell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Their tell that's like, okay, I need to jump in and
Yeah.
Yeah.
change something. I like to pick that up in the moderator section.
Mhm.
I was moderating. Moderating.
Moderating.
Moderating. I'm the moderator, guys.
But I feel like overall, like I've enjoyed our layout of our podcast. I feel like it's been very like unique compared to everybody
Mhm.
else's in a way. Like our layout of podcast was just like we give out our topics, and then people critique it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's such a different view of everyone else. Where everyone, I feel like, no shade, but everyone else's podcast is
No
kind of like
shade.
how our first one is just like speaking about the top, but
Yeah.
ours was kind of like we bring something, you
Yeah.
review it, you
Mhm.
critique it, and I feel like with that it just helped us bring like just again I keep bringing it up, but our natural like conversation.
Yeah.
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 It gives you something outside the podcast to
Yeah.
talk about.
And it's something that we all enjoy too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like
So
music
it's-
and movies. It's like
It
it's
doesn't
really
even
easy to
feel
talk
like
about.
doing a podcast or doing a school assignment. It just
Yeah.
feels like I'm sitting here talking.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. When I can tune out the boom microphone and all the cameras
Yeah.
next to me.
Yeah, and it's easier because it's not just like book research. It's just something
Mhm.
about doing a hobby that you enjoy,
It's
and
something
then just
cool.
talking about it. Like even if you forget what you're trying to say, you'll remember a clip from the movie. You know,
Mhm.
like it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But that too is like, you know, with the style that we kind of went with, you know,
Mhm.
was
Like the paneling.
the
Style.
paneling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it gave each of us a pretty much equal opportunity to get our thoughts out.
Yeah.
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 Whereas like our first one, Camille had
I
like
did not
5
talk.
lines.
Yeah.
He said like 5 things throughout the entire
Yeah. It
semester.
was just so hard for me to know when to jump in, and I was
Mhm.
like, that was the anxiety thing I
Yeah.
was talking about.
But like on paper, I feel like when you say how our layout, how it
Mhm.
usually is, when you tell someone like this is how we're gonna do it, on paper it seems a little controversial.
Yeah.
Like how is it supposed to work on a podcast? But I feel like we blended it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we did a really good job of just critiquing just our layouts and everything, and how we described our topics just meshed really well with everyone else's.
Yeah, it's like it's easier because I know, okay, he's gonna talk and she's gonna talk, then he's
Yeah.
gonna talk, then it's my turn. And
Yeah.
then we're gonna go to the next segment, it's his turn, then and you keep going and going and going. You don't have to sit there awkwardly and wait for the next person to
Mhm.
start speaking.
Yeah.
That was good about it.
And it just felt, to me, it felt natural. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's how I would have a conversation when I'm actively trying to listen to somebody
Yeah.
Mhm.
who they're bringing a topic to me. I'm supposed to talk about it and critique it. Like that to me felt natural.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
it almost felt like we were having a group one-on-one in a way. Like to
Mhm.
me, that I felt like again, it felt natural to me.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys like wanting to do that paneling style. Like I
Mhm.
said, I have such a logical mindset, and I just need things done in like a certain order. So the way that we made it work out, it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing is like going back to like trying to like learning about each other. We learn
Mhm.
what works for each other.
Yeah.
And so like the for some of the peer reviews, I would see like, oh, they're all like blocked off where it's not really conversational. But that was kind of like what we were going for to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
and get the whole like everyone's ideas out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we took a step back from that first one and saw, okay, that wasn't great.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. You know?
So let's take a different approach
Yeah,
to it.
take
And
a different
I feel like,
approach.
yeah, we did
Yeah.
a pretty good job. If people are saying that, that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what we're
Yeah,
what we're kind of
like
doing.
yeah, that was the plan, and
Yeah.
I noticed on the most recent peer review that people were like, okay, I see you guys found a style that really works, and
Yeah.
like you know I see now a lot more of how the style works with you guys
Yeah.
versus like how I thought it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, that like piggybacking off you, like what I said, it's on paper.
Mhm.
It doesn't seem like a good layout or a good way to do it, but when you actually see it and everything starts to get in the flow of things,
Mhm.
I think it's a really good way to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just showcase what we're talking about.
Especially for the last segment too, where we're giving like our critiques and
Yeah.
stuff, like our
Mhm.
final ratings. That was a lot more of like back and forth stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, like one of my favorite podcasts called Creepcast, where they
Yeah.
just like they read scary stories, and then
Mhm.
like it's the two guys. One of them he reads like the character voices because he does voice acting
Yeah,
stuff,
voice
so he does the character voices, and then the other guy does like the internal dialogue and stuff, and then they get through a little bit. And then they'll have a little banter break, or like
Yeah.
as something funny happens, they'll both like talk back and
Talk
forth.
about it.
Like I feel like that's kind of to an extent where we were going with
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because it's like we're focusing on topic. One of us critiques it, and then when it comes to the rating, it's like we're rating it together, and it's just back and forth what we think about. And I agree, it's like similar to what it
Mhm.
is.
And then I don't know, to like, I guess it also, like, with the big group, it helped us work ideas out throughout
Yeah.
an entire thing. Because, like, you know, going back to, like, the group chat, you know, I would bring up an idea, and then it'd be like, okay, I said it, I think that makes sense. And then Camille's asking, like, all these clarifying questions I wouldn't have even thought of.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
In
okay,
depth.
like, you know, that it helps us knowing, like, okay, I can start, like, saying stuff a little bit more directly or more laid out
Yeah.
to try and ease everyone into it. That way, like, you know, that way it can try and work for Camille. Donovan can get his ideas. Adrian kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of say yeah whenever anybody looks at me.
I feel like that's the good thing is we all can just like learn off of each other, you know? Like, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, we can all learn off each other. Yeah.
I feel like with like if we're working together, right? This is how I viewed it. Like AJ, you were able to like structure everything in a good discussion and just put everything in a good direction, and that's what I like what you bring to the table.
Mhm.
Like you were in a way just like that good leader. You're that
Yeah.
good. You're meant to be moderator.
Group leader.
Yeah,
Group
yeah.
leader.
Adrian, I liked how like your critiques to everything and your like opposite. It's all in a way like we have very similar views.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have a really opposite view, and I like what you bring to the table because you bring like that very like opposite critiquing view to it, and I like that. Like you're not afraid to like tell us what you actually think about something,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for that. Bless up.
Yes. What's up, man?
I feel like for me, like Adrian, I feel like brought a lot of the energy because
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was able to, toward at least after the first one, he was able to
Yeah.
like we were all like we all worked on it, but like he was, I felt the main. Oh, we didn't really know what to bring up, so Adrian would hop in and
Yeah.
you know push us a little bit forward when I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then like Donovan, you always brought like really good analysis and stuff. You would
Yeah.
bring like you know the cool like different like you were saying, you know, you guys have different perspectives, and I think a bit more like Adrian than
Yeah.
I think like
And
you
then
guys.
Right.
it's like the opposite side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like you guys would bring up ideas. Both of you would bring up ideas that I wouldn't even think of, like
Yeah.
or like sides that I couldn't even think of. Like, was it one of you that brought up the waves idea?
Yeah, I brought
Yeah.
up how the waves.
I didn't even like
It was
think
like,
of that.
yeah. Why is this movie called Wave?
Yeah, I'm like they're at the beach for
It's
like
a wrestling
3
movie.
scenes, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like,
I
I
actually thought it was gonna be a surfing movie.
oh no, it's you guys both brought very different perspectives to the whole group that I wouldn't have thought of
Yeah.
because I'm a bit more like Adrian. You two are more alike, so it's again two sides of the same coin kind of idea where you know we're both in the group, but we're trying to
Yeah.
you know,
Come to one.
come to
land.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just the four sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really are.
What would they call that?
They call that four-sided coin. I don't know.
That'd be like a square or like a X.
Yeah, be a square and then
Square?
like you have to land it on one of the like the
Mm,
flat sides.
yeah.
Or else it doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be an X. Okay, but off topic.
It doesn't even land.
But I mean, like
Yeah.
overall, yeah, this class definitely helped with communication skills, with just teamwork and together. I feel like so.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah, it
for
was
being
good.
my group.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Are we done here or are we doing some
mean-
drama before we
I mean, I don't know. Are there? I guess before we wrap it up, is there anything that you guys want to continue to work on, like that you like ideas that you've learned in this class that you want to like continue to keep going with? Because for me personally, I definitely need to get a lot better at filler words
I was
because
gonna say
Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Again, it's my mouth goes faster than my brain can think a lot of the time, so
Yeah.
it's. I talk and then I get to a spot where my brain needs to catch up, so it's just like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, filler words. I feel like all of us, for everyone's
Mhm.
answer is gonna be filler words.
filler words,
Yeah.
vocal variety, whatever that may
Whatever.
entail.
I mean, I'll add on to that too. Like also speaking too fast
Mhm.
kind of goes hand in hand with.
Oh yes, yeah. That makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, not really you, but yeah.
I talk slowly.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. Well, I believe that's all we got for you guys today. This has been another episode, I believe the final episode. Final
Yes.
episode of the First Impressions podcast. Once again, I've been your host, AJ, joined with Donovan, Camille, Adrian, coming to you from the Solano College TV studio, signing out one last time.